You can draw this in Procreate. During this super easy Procreate tutorial, I will show you how you can create this cute painterly fox with the brushes that are already in Procreate. The canvas we're working on is 2300 pixels by 3000 pixels. And as always, I have a free color palette for you. It's linked down in the description. And then if you are ready, let's get started. We'll start by grabbing a nice painterly brush to get that really expressive style. And we'll be using a brush that's already in Procreate. We'll be using the old brush. You can find it under painting. And then for the color, let's start with the second color in the second row. Now the brush opacity is at 100% and the size, let's set that to 15. And then we'll start right here in the center by creating a shape like this. I'm not sure what to compare it with, but the top part is rounded, and then we have these sides. Those are the sides of the fox's face. And let's just fill this in. And then right underneath, there will be this rounded shape for the body. Let's just fill this in. And then I'll just make this part a little bit more wide, and we'll make these short strokes outward. That's like its chest area. Maybe here we can go a little bit lower. And we'll just go over all of these areas. And here at the top as well, we'll go outward. We'll follow that shape that we have created, but we'll make these short outward strokes to get that effect of that fur. And we need to fill this area. So little outward strokes. And also here in that neck area. Here along the side, like a nice loose painterly effect. Now we can make the brush a little bit smaller. Let's go for perhaps like 7% to go along this area. Make this a bit more pointy. And maybe also for this neck area, go for something like this. Next, we'll make a layer for the ears and for its tail. Let's tap the plus for a new layer and let's drag that underneath. And then for our color, let's first grab this one. That's the fifth color in the third row. And then let's make a triangular shape here and over here. So these will be the ears. So fill in that area, and it can be nice and rough. You can see some lines like on the sides, on the edges. Something like this. And then for the tail, let's grab this color. Third color in the second row. And we'll make a nice swirling tail. So like a curve like this. And it will stop about here. Nice fluffy tail. Fill that in, following that direction of that flow. And keep it nice and loose and a little bit messy. Then let's go back to the body layer. Let's go back to layer 1. And now for our color, let's go to this one over here, the first color in the third row. And I will make a shape on top here, like a curve like this. And we'll also make a shape on the chest. So we'll go around like this. So we'll color this underside of the face and this middle part of the chest. And here we have a little bump. That's where the nose will be. So we'll start with this relatively dark color, go all the way down here. And now we can pick a lighter color. We'll grab this one, second color in the third row. And now we are going to make the right side lighter. So let's go over there. Go all the way to the side. And lighten up this right part of the chest. Next, let's make a layer for the eyes and the nose and mouth. So let's go to the layer menu, tab the plus. Then for the color, I'd like to use this one, sixth color in the third row. And for the brush, let's go to the drawing brushes and use the gloaming brush. Now the opacity should be at 100%, and we can set the size to like 5%. And now let's make a little curve over here and one over here. Here we'll make a cute nose and a mouth like this, two little curves. And now let's go in here and refine it a bit more. We can make this a bit thicker. And we can add a little like a lash. Make this one thicker as well, of course. Little lash. Maybe we can make the nose a little bit bigger. And we can add these little lines to the side of its mouth, making it smile even more, making it look even more friendly. So nice curves for the eyes. And let's add a little highlight to the nose. Let's just grab pure white. We can just double tap here for white. And then let's add a little highlight here. All right, and then let's continue working on our fox. Let's go back to the body layer and let's add some more color. Let's grab this one over here, third color in the second row. And for the brush, we'll go back to the painting brushes and use the old brush again. And I'm imagining the light is coming from the right side, so these darker colors will be on the left side. And of course, what you could do if you don't want to go outside of the shape, then you can tap the layer and turn on alpha lock. Now we can easily paint here without making the head any bigger. So for now, that's quite handy. So I'll make that left side a bit darker. Also over here, introducing some of that darker orange. And here, making nice expressive strokes. And here on the underside, we are going to add legs later, so don't worry about those. A little bit over here. And then let's go even darker with this color, fourth color in the second row. And we'll go a bit more towards the left. And over here on the side, a little bit of this brownish color and a little bit here. And then let's also grab a lighter color, this one, first color in the second row. We can use that on the right side. Adding some lighter touches. And over here. And what you could do if you would like some more texture here, you can also use the dry brush. It has a great texture. Let's grab this color again, second color in the second row. Let's check the size. It's a bit big right now. Let's make it a bit smaller. Like 8%. Opacity is at 100. And then we can also go over some areas, add some more like brushy, painterly texture. And then let's work on that lighter fur a bit more. Let's first grab this color, first color in the third row. I want to add a little bit more over here, and let's grab that old brush again. It's a bit more like opaque. It covers more. Here we have that nose area. I want this underside to be this color. If you are enjoying creating this painterly fox so far, then I think you will like the tutorial that I have posted this week at Patreon as well, because in that one we'll also use painterly techniques and some of my exclusive brushes, which you'll get with the tutorial of course, and we'll create this super cute little bird. But of course when you sign up at Patreon, you won't just get this tutorial, but 200 plus more Procreate tutorials, and they range from beginner to more advanced levels. They have lots of subjects, lots of techniques. So if you want to improve your Procreate skills, then that's really the place to go. But now let's go and continue working on our little fox. And then for that right side, let's go even lighter. Let's grab this third color in the third row. And we can add even more light to this area. A lighter touch. And then for the legs, let's grab this color, fourth color in the third row. And let's also turn off alpha lock so we can go outside of the shape. And then we'll make one leg over here, like slightly diagonal, a little bit rounded here at the bottom. Make these diagonal strokes upward. And then over here. Rounded at the bottom, going up diagonally, creating these very simple legs, but very nice and painterly. It's simple but effective. Then let's add some darker touches there with this fifth color in the third row. You can add some darker brush strokes for some variety. I think this will do. Now let's move to the ears and tail. Let's go here. Let's grab a lighter color. We'll start with this one, first color in the third row. And let's add that over here to create the inside of the ear. And let's do the same here. But here, let's go even lighter. Let's grab the second color in the third row. But I'd like to see those brush strokes. Some of that other color can shine through a bit. And then maybe also a little touch of orange, orangey red. This third color in the second row, we can add a tiny touch here at the top of the ears. I think that looks great. Then for the tail, I'd like to add a lighter touch there as well. Let's first grab this color. First color in the third row. And let's also turn on alpha lock. So let's tap the layer, turn on alpha lock, and then let's go over this part, like the tip. Foxes have like a light tip of the tail. So let's follow that flow of the tail, making curved motions. Then let's go lighter with the second color in the third row and add lighter touches here on the right side. And then let's go even lighter with the third color in the third row. And let's also add a tiny dark touch to the tail with the fourth color in the second row. We can add a bit of that over here. And also a great trick with this technique is to use the smudge tool. You can set it to the dry brush, for instance. Just grab the dry brush here, tap your smudge tool to make it switch to the dry brush. That way you don't have to look it up in the smudge menu. So we have that as a smudge tool right now, and then you can just go over. This is too big. Let's set it to like 7%. You can just go over areas and add that texture, and at the same time blending some areas. And you can also do this with the old brush. That will smear like a broader area. And you can also play around with the opacity, of course. If you lower that, it'll lower the strength of the smudge, giving you a bit more like control. But this way you can move colors around, blend areas without losing any of that painterly texture. And this is also great to use on the body, for instance. If you use it there, you can get a lot of control over the edges, for instance. You can add more fluff, or you can pull it in a little bit. If it has become like too big, you just play around, add fluff on the outside, or blend some areas a bit. And if you use the dry brush for it, it'll give some more like these lines, a bit more of like a rough texture. But it can definitely add some character to your fox. Maybe go over here a bit. And now let's just add a nice background to our fox for a final touch. Let's make a new layer. Let's tap the plus and drag that underneath. And then for the color, let's first drop in this one. Fourth color in the first row, drag it on there. And then we'll grab this one. Third color in the first row. And for the brush, let's go for the old brush. And maybe we can make it a bit bigger. Let's see what 30% does. Yeah, that's nice. Let's just go over here and make a nice textured background. Making vertical strokes. Getting a nice painterly effect. Then let's grab this color. That's the second color in the first row. And let's use that to create a little shadow area here, but very, very loosely. I like to see nice brushwork. Also add maybe a little bit with the dry brush. Let's make that a bit bigger as well. 20%, maybe some random strokes. And then let's go darker with this color. First color in the first row, and then we'll grab the old brush again. And then let's add some darker shadow. Let's make the brush a bit smaller, 13%. Add some shadow here. It's on the left side of our fox because the light is coming from this direction, so it's dropping a shadow here. And you can switch back and forth between the colors, maybe add a bit of that second color. And you could also go to the charcoals, for instance, and use the burnt tree. And you could use that light color, fourth color in the first row. Let's see the size of this brush. That's very small. Let's set it maybe at 100%. Let's see. Yeah, you can set it at 100%, opacity at 100, and then you can just add some of this very rough texture in there to add an extra touch. Then let's also go back to those painting brushes again, to the old brush, and maybe we can add some like leaves flying around, perhaps very abstract. Now let's grab this color, second color in the second row. Maybe we can just make some very random dabs. Just to add some expressiveness, some extra touches of color. And we can also go darker with this third color in the second row. Maybe make the brush a bit smaller, maybe 7%. Just some nice expressive touches. Now what I think would be a nice final touch is maybe add some extra like glow to the light areas of the fox. And we can do that by pinching these layers together of our fox. And then let's turn off alpha lock. And then let's go to the magic wand and to bloom. I think this will give a nice effect. Let's turn it up. You get this glow. That's way too much, of course, so you need to play around with the sliders. Turning down the burn. Lowering the size. Just playing around with these features. So you get something that gives a nice glow, but not too much. Let's just check. You can tap on your screen and then you have preview here. And then you can see what it does. It gives this nice, subtle extra glow. I actually like it, so I'm going to go for this. I have bloom at 7%, size at 28, and burn at 18%. And then I'll just tap the magic wand and call this finished. I hope you have enjoyed creating your own painterly fox, and I'm hoping to see you next time for the next tutorial.